And welcome back to another episode of the Branching Out podcast. Today we are joined by Liam Boden. He is one of our rail site managers working in rail and infrastructure here at Ground Control. So let's get started. Hi Liam, welcome. Thank you for taking the time to talk with us today.
Hi Jess, you okay?
Good, thank you. Good. So let's just get going into it. A rail site manager, I mean, I've got a bit of an idea what that means, but could you do a bit of an intro, exactly who you are and what your role here at Ground Control entails?
So I came on board as a rail site manager, but I'm not just rail, I'm actually more special access team, which involves IRATA works, which is rope access, mainly working on structures or places where normal D-veg operatives can't get to without being obviously IRATA trained. I'm currently a specialist access team site manager, predominantly on the rail, but we do cover some other areas. Obviously that might be sometimes we do cement factory cleans down, where it's obviously again you need to go inside on ropes and stuff like that, but predominantly we are rail. I'm mostly rail side, but I do help out in other areas as well.
So IRATA, that I do know is rope access. For those who might not exactly know about it, it's not necessarily climbing up a tree, but it's also scaling down buildings or bridges.
It's more of a, so you obviously got your tree climbing stuff. It's a completely different qualification. It's more basically on vertical drops on structures. And working on bridges and viaducts and stuff like that.
You must have been some really interesting places then throughout the country.
Yeah, we've been to a lot of it. Like I said, it covers national coverage as well. So we go to a lot of different places, and one of the most recent ones was working in a cement factory in North Wales. That was actually in a clean down, so the cement factory was shut down for a couple of weeks, and basically we had to go inside the silos and clean them, getting ready for a complete restructure on them.
Wow. So is that, I mean, that's got to be quite like daunting as well a bit, I would assume, being in like a enclosed and structure. And is it dark, or is it like how do you guys are you working at night? Are you
So it's a mixture. There's working obviously on the rail, it can be night or days, depending on what the job is really. It completely depends. We do a mixture of nights and days, but if you're going in an area where it's dense and obviously not many places to get out, it's called confined space work. So you need another qualification which allows you to work in a tighter area. And obviously you've got your low, medium and high risk confined space qualifications, which most of our operatives hold, most of our teams hold. It's all different in many ways. It's whatever's really in front of you.
Imagine you've had some interesting encounters along the way as well, whether it's with wildlife or just in general.
A lot of difficult encounters really. The main thing for us is obviously sometimes a rescue plan. If we've got to get someone out of someone where we're working in a confined space, it's not easy to get people out of them situations. So you've got to be training, you've got to be prepared to get someone out if needs be.
I assume you've got a lot of safety protocols then in place that you go through each time you start a new project.
Yeah, so the planning stages of every single job that we do, we spend a lot of time planning. If we obviously have a kind of a ladder, what type of risk the job is, high risk, medium risk, whatever it may be, and obviously the higher it is, it's a lot more dangerous for the guys and girls to work in there. So we've got to make sure that everything's in place. So it's a lot of planning time, but normally it's planned properly, and it's safe. It's good to go.
Yeah, the better the more plan. Like I assume you have to put almost as much planning into it as actually doing the job sometimes in order for that, because you want it to run smoothly, don't you? So
it's got to run smoothly, but then we've got to think about obviously everyone's safety is paramount, and making sure everybody gets home every single day after shift is the most important thing. So we never improvise safety, anything like that. We always concentrate on making sure that whatever we've got planned is planned properly, and it's the best possible way of doing it. If there's a better way of doing it, we'll do it a better way.
Yeah.
But sometimes you've got to you've got to do it the way you planned, because that's the only way. Um,
Yeah. You
so
have to be
yeah.
very you must be a very adaptable team then if you're because you're constantly having to change from environment to environment. So how do you is it just that you have to go out and assess these sites and like
Yeah, so
how do you manage that adaptability from week to week?
yeah, so we in we're quite a small team, if you like. We're quite a small team. We've got a loads of different knowledge within the group. I'm more railway. I'm more safety critical on the railway. I know more about the railway than what I do working in like rope access environments. We've got some guys who are brilliant on the ropes, know everything about rope access, know all the procedures, everything like that.
Yep.
So there's a wide variety, but we always like to get eyes on the job. We'll never just commit to a job and go, yeah, we'll do that. It's always a case of, yeah, we'll have a look at it, we'll get our eyes on it. Sometimes go for 2 site visits before
Yeah.
we even agree to doing the job.
Yeah, no, that's really I think important when like when you're in these safety critical roles at ground control is that you're able to have that time and you take the time to check the site and know it before you agree to it because is no there's no point in agreeing to something that isn't, isn't actually safe to do.
Yeah.
So what does a typical week look like for you then? Is it half
Um,
planning, half site, or like what does that how does that work
Yeah,
out for
so
you?
it
Is there a
chops and
typical?
changes. It's I wouldn't no week's the same
Yep.
really. It chops and changes massively. Sometimes I'm on days, sometimes I'm on nights, sometimes I'm working from home, planning and looking at jobs. It is completely different, but predominantly I like to get out on site as much as I can, just to see what's going on and also making sure it's being done properly,
Yep.
and as safe as possible. So that's normally what I do, normally out on site. But when needed, I'm obviously behind the computer, planning, making sure things are in place, ordering things if we need them for jobs,
Yep.
paperwork's correct, stuff like that. But yeah, it does vary. Sometimes my week doesn't finish on a Friday. I normally work Saturday nights, so I'm normally out on Saturday on the weekends. Just
Yep.
because working on the railway, you very
Yeah,
rarely
you
get
have to.
closures on midweek, so you work Saturday nights to kind of make sure you complete works that require a closure.
Yeah, yeah, I don't really think about that. You guys, you aren't the 9 to 5 job. You are, you are what as and when you can
Well,
do
yeah,
things. Yeah.
whatever is required and wherever you need to go, that's my kind of job role really.
So how do you strike a balance then between work and not work
So
if your week's quite blurred?
yeah, if it's staggered, it can be quite hard. But I normally like to try and plan at least a week in advance if I can. So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
if I know next week I'm going to be on days, then I'll look to do some of my hobbies and interests in the evenings, just to
yeah,
try and get me away from that. Um, but then it's not always easy when you're on nights, especially if you're on night shifts. It's
yeah.
I mean, you're coming in the morning, you're getting some rest, and then it's time to go to work again. So that can be hard, but again, that in my eyes, like, I enjoy work. I enjoy doing what I do. So it
Yeah.
is kind of a hobby and interest for me in a way, working with the guys and girls on the ropes. Like it's kind of a hobby. It's kind of an interest for me. So I've always been engaged with it.
Oh, that's helps. It must immensely help. Is that I mean, it's a different job doing your special access as well. It's not you're going to site and doing the same place, same location every day. So,
Yeah.
no, that's
And
that's
it's
cool.
it's it's more as well meeting different types of people. Like, because we work nationally, like, we work with so many different teams, within ground control, meet different people, work with different divisions. So it's really good, and you do meet different people, which is a massive part of it. Because I'm quite a social person. I like speaking to people.
Yeah,
I like what I mean, what goes on out there.
yeah. So you're getting all over the country then, working with groups across the business. Um, have you any? I guess go two routes here. The first route, I guess I'll bring up the challenge first. Have you had any challenging projects of late that you've been working on in the business?
Challenging project, I would say. So the cement factory clean down in North Wales was challenging for us. It was our second year doing it. We did it last year, and we were successful again this year. So it started in January. That was challenging because they were 12-hour shifts. They were
Oh,
back-to-back shifts. So we had the day team and the night team.
mhm.
Um, it was a very challenging environment,
Yeah.
just because of what was going on. It's the client's biggest shutdown that they do, because all
Yep.
the rest of the year that it remains open, it remains functional. So that 2 week, 3 week window that they shut it down is so important to them, and
Yep.
and we can't afford to delay them.
No.
So yeah, that can be challenging, and it was a lot of planning just before Christmas, ready to start straight after
Yeah.
the New Year. We were starting. I think we started on the third.
Oh no.
So
Okay.
we were straight
Yeah.
back into the deep end. So that was that one. We're currently coming to an end of another project in South Wales, um, which we've done for Amy infrastructure on the railway. That's a retaining wall that came with problems because we're right next to one of the fastest moving rivers in the UK,
Yep.
in Radio. So it's we had to work with our waterways division. They provided obviously a safety boat and stuff like that. A
Yep.
lot of planning time has gone into that because you've got to plan for obviously the water, plan for the rail.
Yep.
So you've got so many different hazards that you come across at every single different job. But yeah, so there's been obstacles, but we're very close to finishing that one as well. That should be finished by the end of this week.
How do you manage that then? Are you must be a very organized person.
Yeah, so like I said, we are a very tight knit team. We always remain in contact. Whether that's having meetings at 5 o'clock on a Friday, we'll have the meeting. If it
Yep.
means us knowing what's going on Monday, and everyone's going to be know exactly what's going on, it's safe, then that we'll do that. But also we prepare. We know there's going to be problems. We know there's going to be little teething issues. So it's just making sure that we iron them out as quick as we can
Yep.
and work together, because you can't always do fix things on your own. Sometimes you need help from others.
Yeah.
So that's part of that's the really good thing about the team. We do look out for each other. We do help each other.
How do you maintain that, I guess, team dynamic then? Do you guys, I mean, obviously you're
Um,
working quite closely on each project together, but how do you keep that teamwork going, I guess?
yeah, so we normally we because it's been a few chops and changes recently. I think the plan is after some of the projects we deliver, kind of maybe have some of it a downtime where we might go out for dinner or something together, just to
Yep.
try and obviously keep that relationship between us all, because it does get challenging, and it's always challenging, but it's how you obviously maintain it and build it back up. So I think after this one and maybe a couple more, we might go out for a bit of dinner one night, and have a little review as well, and work out like what could have been better, what can we do better.
Yep.
But the good thing about us is if we take ownership. We take ownership.
Yeah.
If someone's made a mistake, they'll hold their hand up and yeah, I've made a mistake. They don't try and hide it. They won't, and that's the big thing for us.
Yeah, and I think it's like we talk about that in our team as well. Everyone makes mistakes. You're going to make
Hmm.
mistakes and owning it, and then working together to resolve it, and rather than just condemning, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
That's really helpful. I think it makes you a productive team as well, rather than just messing up. Is no, like there's been a mistake. We all make mistakes.
yeah,
Now let's work together
yeah.
to
Exactly,
make it
definitely.
right. So no, that's brilliant. Any exciting things on the docket?
Um, we are, yeah. There's a couple of exciting things. We're looking to get into, obviously, as everyone will know, with in-ground control, the geotechnical stuff, the
Yep.
drilling and stuff like that. So we recently brought on board a new site manager, level three, Rob. Rob's got a great background in geo netting and stuff like that. So that is something that is in the pipeline, and we're looking forward to get going on it, because again, that's a whole new ball game for us all,
Yeah.
apart from Rob. So we're going to be looking for Rob's expertise this time, and
Yep.
try and work out where we're going. But that, yeah, exciting for us because it's a new area. It's going to be new clients working with potentially Network Rail again, but it's going to be new people that we see within Network Rail that we've never dealt with before.
Oh, that is exciting. I think there was a post not too long ago about that. So yeah, no,
Yeah.
look, well, we'll keep our eye out for you guys in 2025. Um, yeah, I guess so. You work with everyone across the business. Is there anything you think that people maybe don't know about that would be good that they can reach out to your group for?
Yeah. a massive thing is like we cover everything. So we don't just do railway. I think that might be sometimes where people think, oh, that they're within the rail and infrastructure division.
Yeah.
We do a lot of jobs outside the rail,
Yeah.
and we have a lot of expertise outside the rail in regards to the staff that we have involved with the SAT division. So if there's a job that requires anything, we've got rope access, mute work, anything, we can deliver it. And we have the teams available to deliver it. But most of all, the big thing for us, because we're IRATA accredited, we have to, the paperwork is always delivered by us, because it has to be for when we come to our audit. We're only a probationary member at the minute, so we have to then go back, and to get our full membership, we've got to prove that we're doing it properly, and our paperwork's correct and everything like that. So yeah, just that we do other areas. It's not just railway, and if we can assist in any way, we'll assist.
No, that's brilliant. There you go. If you are a manager listening and you've got a project coming up, you can reach out to Liam and the team. Right, we're gonna turn the tables a little bit back on to you. Could you give us a bit, obviously we're the L&D team that run the podcast, so could you give us a bit of, I guess a bit of information around like development wise, what have you been doing development wise to develop yourself as a rail site manager? And is there anything you're looking to do as well? But we'll focus first on how what's your approach to development?
Yeah, so I recently completed GC Manage with Jez and the team.
Yeah.
And some of the subjects that we covered within that were beneficial to me, really beneficial, because I came from a background off the tools, so I was on the tools, working, actually doing the job,
Yeah.
a few years ago. So when I came into a kind of a management role, I needed a bit of support to kind of guide me in the right area. So yeah, just some of the subjects that we cover. Obviously, the conflict and management one was a massive one for me, because I was a team leader at one point, but I never really dealt with clients. I never really didn't have that connection with them because I didn't need it. So that helped. But also just the courses that, since I've been at Ground Control, that I've been on, the management courses, my IOSH, managing safely. I've got my safety critical stuff for the railway. There's loads of different health and safety courses that I've been on. So I'm management courses that have given me the guidance to progress and move into a better position where I am today, really, in regards to knowing what I'm doing better, a better understanding of what I'm doing compared to when I first started.
Yeah, it's giving you that big picture,
Yeah,
maybe even, and rather, like obviously, when you are working the tools, when you are working as like in that specific role, like that's what you're focused on. But when you are starting to manage sites and clients and all that, you need that bigger picture. So no,
yeah.
that's
There's,
good. That's been
yeah.
helpful for you. And IOSH as well. You can't go wrong with a bit of
Yeah,
IOSH.
there's a lot more. There's a lot more to it than probably
Yeah,
what some people think. Management.
yeah,
There's a lot more to it, and there's problems as well. It's a big thing. You've got to be able to problem solve. And
yeah,
my biggest thing is that there has to be a solution to it. There can't not be a solution. But
yeah,
sometimes people hit a problem, and that's it. And then whether that's reaching out for help to someone else, that might be that. But there's always a solution to something, and
yeah.
that's kind of what I always say to the teams. There might be a problem, but there's a solution somewhere. So let's let's work together and find that solution.
Oh, that's brilliant. No, that's exactly it. Yeah, no, but I can't say anything better because you said it perfectly. Right. So I'm conscious of time. I'm just going to ask you one more question. Uh, Obviously, you've done a lot in your development into your role that you're in now. What does the next 5 years look like for Liam Boden? What are your goals?
Yeah. So next 5 years for myself, main thing for me is keep my head down, really, and make sure that I keep progressing. But I'm currently in a site manager position. I've got another couple of levels. I believe that I can go personally, and my next level to me would be a senior site manager. Take that next step, take a bit more ownership, and stuff like that. And then eventually, maybe at the end of that 5 years, into a contracts manager role. That's the end goal for me, is in that contracts manager role. If I get to that contracts manager role within the next 5 years, I'll be made up.
There you go.
But yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. But one step at a time into a senior site manager, and then once I've done that, got my head around that, proven myself as well, then hopefully I can progress into a contracts manager role.
Well, I can see your determination and your willingness to develop and grow. So I think you've got a lot of potential there to hit your goals. So
thank you very much.
Yeah, so I wish you well. I'll keep an eye out for you.
Thanks very much, Jess.
And thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you very much, Jess. I'll catch you again soon.
Yep, take care. Bye. And that's it for us today. If you or your team have an exciting project going on and want to share, please reach out and we'll get you on the podcast. Until next time, take care.